right. Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Spa Business Boost here with me, Daniela. Very excited to meet with you guys today and talk about how to retire from the room in 4 simple steps. This is something that I get asked a lot about. You get into this place where you're working, you're going, and you're wondering, how am I ever going to get out of the room so that I can work on the business rather than in the business? That is exactly what I want to talk about with you today. So let me make sure first that I am set up here, live streaming in the group, that you guys can see me and hear me, all of those things. Perfect. Looks like we are there. Happy for that. Now I'm going to go ahead and share my slides. We'll go through the training. I'm going to be looking over here at the Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, be sure to type them there under this live stream. All right, let's go ahead and share my screen. We'll move this into present mode so that you can see it nice and big. And when I get to the spreadsheets, I know I'm going to make those a little bit bigger, but if you guys are having trouble seeing any of the numbers or calculations, then, please let me know and I'll make sure that I increase the size there. Okay, so what we're going to cover today is how to build your dream team. We're going to understand how to calculate the break-even point of your employee. This is essentially, how do we know when our employees are paying for themselves? We are going to talk about how to create a winning marketing strategy for getting this new team member or existing team member that will be taking some of your client or patient load over. And then we're going to talk about how to manage your calendar. Okay. So for those of you that are new to our world, my name is Daniela. I'm the founder and CEO of Addo Aesthetics. We are a coaching and consulting company that specializes in strategy and systems for aesthetic professionals. In the past 10 years, we are moving into year 10 of our entrepreneurial journey. Actually, tomorrow is, I believe, our anniversary. So that's exciting. And in those 10 years, I have consulted with 11-figure brands. We've created trainings that are in 80 countries around the world. We have built a 7-figure company with a team of 18. We operate in 12 different time zones. So our communication is super, super clear. We have helped our clients generate millions of dollars. And in that time, I have also moved 12 times and birthed 12 babies. Not moving by my choice. My husband was active duty Navy for 21 years. And so that was the cause of all of those moves. So for those of you that are military spouses and or veterans, I see you. I understand the challenges of not being settled in one place. But I hope that this inspires you that you can have a career and that it is possible for you as well. We're also the host of an Apple Top 50 podcast. We've got over 350 episodes of straight to the point strategy for marketing and for spa. So be sure to check that out wherever you listen to your podcast. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the training. We're going to talk about building your dream team. All right. And here is my dream team. I love this picture. This was at our last Growth Factor event that we had in Florida. This is kind of going from left to right, or excuse me, right to the one with the short blonde hair. I don't know how this is going to flip around in the live stream, but the gal with the short blonde hair closest to my head is M. The gal in the middle is Sarah, and the gal on the right with the darker hair is Christy. These are incredible women that I am so honored to have on my team. And I just thought this was the funniest picture because I talk about, does your team support you? And this is really literally and figuratively these ladies supporting me, which I am eternally grateful for. Now, building a dream team takes time and effort. It is not something that happens overnight. And in fact, I've been working on my dream team for 10 years. So give yourself some grace. Know that it's a process if you are not there yet. Leadership is a learned skill. All right. So having this crystal clear communication, being able to communicate your expectations, growing and developing as a leader yourself, it's a process. So give yourself time. Okay. Um, Building a team is especially necessary if you are ready to get out of the room and step more fully into the role of CEO. So, what are some keys to success when hiring a provider? Because as a spa, we obviously have to have providers to be able to generate our revenue. When I'm talking about a provider, I'm talking about an esthetician, a massage therapist, a lash artist, someone who's actually performing the services that we are charging for. And I know that this seems really simple, but I want you to have an extremely clear outline of what the job expectations are on a daily basis. So, by creating documented procedures, protocols, and regular routines, you're communicating your expectations for a job well done. If you don't know what is actually done throughout the day, then I want you to do a time tracker. We're actually this week, right now, my company is doing a time tracker, including myself. And we are every 15 minutes logging what we are doing throughout the day. That not only helps us to understand, are there things I'm regularly doing that are not on my routines board, or are there things that I could take off of my plate and hire out to somebody else? Now, when we're thinking about a provider, we're like, well, we obviously want them to do services, but are you wanting them to engage on social media? Are you wanting them to help with inventory? Are you wanting them, to be able to work the front desk from time to time? What are the specific criteria that your expectations are for this provider? We want to make sure that we have that all mapped out, and that should really be from the beginning. All right, so this is an idea of my own personal routines and what this kind of looks like. We actually just finished one of these boards for front desk. I'm so excited about it. This is going to be a resource for our Growth Factor members. And actually, I'll show it to you guys when I go and share my screen. But it just lists out all of the tasks, what's happening on a daily basis, what's happening on Mondays, what's happening on whatever these on every day of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We also have what happens on a monthly, an annual, a quarterly. Don't want to miss quarterly in there. So it's listing this is for the CEO, but there are also, what do you want your providers to be doing throughout the week and month and year and all of that. All right. Now, additionally, when you are hiring the provider, you want to ensure that you're checking in with them on a weekly basis after their onboarding period, and also providing continuing development, not only to master their skill, but also to develop their emotional intelligence and selling skills. You know that so much of what we do, we have to have emotional intelligence to be able to communicate with our clients and patients in an effective manner. All right. Now, our employees are not mind readers, and we need to make sure that we are over communicating our needs and our expectations while still creating space for them to ask questions. All right, so what I want you to do as far as an action item and really understanding, what do you want your provider to do? One of the things I remember when I was at Belisante, a great company that I worked for when I was in Boston, one of the regular things that was a job duty was cleaning the hydrofacial machine. So, there's the weekly maintenance that we're going through and doing. We want to make sure that is done on a regular basis. That should be on the routines boards. Are we doing inventory in the room? Are we restocking the rooms? Are we communicating with whomever's handling inventory what needs to be reordered? What are all of the things that are required in addition? Are we doing laundry? Are we, insert all of the things. So what I want you to do is document the routines of a provider and then update your esthetician job posting to accurately reflect the responsibilities of that role. Okay. And if you signed up for this training, we do have an esthetician job posting for you. You can comment below. We've got it emailed to everybody who registered. If you didn't register and you want that, just comment below. My team will make sure that you get it. All right. Next up, we are going to calculate the break-even point. And this one is super, super fun. All right. Now, on more than one occasion, I've had a growth factor member come into our laser coaching. They're concerned that they're losing money because they have a provider that is not booked. Now, sure, there can absolutely be an opportunity cost for not utilizing the room 100%, but are you actually losing money by paying that individual to be on the clock? Now, at Atto Aesthetics, we believe that providers should be paying for themselves by the 90-day mark. So we measure this with something called the employee break-even calculator. And I am going to, let me escape out of my slides here for a minute, and we are going to shift over to this calculator. This is a resource that we have inside of Growth Factor. And what it does is it essentially says, hey, if I'm going to, oh, hey, Sydney. Sydney, welcome to Growth Factor, my friend. I just wrote you a welcome card. And yes, we have the job posting inside of Growth Factor already. We can absolutely get it to you here, but we've got any time that we're doing a free resource here in the group, we also make sure that we have that listed inside of Growth Factor as well. All right. Okay. Perfect. And hello, Jessica. Good to see you here. Stacy, wonderful. All right. So this employee break-even calculator, what we're looking at here is, let's say that you are paying this provider $25 an hour and that they work 35 hours per week. That is going to mean that you're paying them $875 per week. Then we're adding percentages for payroll taxes and overhead to make sure that we're getting a cushion on what it is that we are looking to calculate. Okay. And so as far as getting a clear number, we want to make sure that this provider is generating $1,137.50 per week to pay for themselves. Okay. And as far as the employee break-even calculations, you can say, all right, well, I'm going to have this provider do a Brazilian wax. That means that, if a Brazilian wax is $89 and then the consumable cost is $4, which I'm going to subtract the consumable cost. Not a huge deal with a wax, but when we get into a specialty facial that's going to cost you $40 or microneedle that's going to cost you $60, you absolutely want to make sure that you're getting that consumable cost out of there. So this is telling me that this provider needs to do 14 Brazilian waxes per week to pay for themselves, that they need to do 11 specialty facials or 6 microneedling treatments. So if I'm looking, if they're signed off on microneedling just for an easy number, and they're scheduled 35 hours a week, so that might be, 7 hours a day, 5 days a week. They need one day that they're doing 2 microneedling, and they need 1 every other day of the week. If you're looking at that schedule, that might be like, wow, this person is not booked. I'm really stressed about this. They're not bringing in the revenue because they're doing 1 appointment a day, with the exception of one day that they're doing 2 appointments. That can feel scary and feel like there's a lot of sitting around. But when we look at the numbers, they are actually paying for themselves. And so that can allow you to shift your energy into, all right, I'm not losing money here. Sure, there's an opportunity cost, 100%, not discounting that. But you're not actually going negative in your cash flow from keeping them on. So I love having an easy calculator to really understand what that break-even point is. Super easy to calculate this on your own as well. But this is how we're actually looking at that. All right, so let me go back. I'm going to check the questions real quick. Hey, Bobby. All right, Bobby is saying, is there a way to get more information on Growth Factor without scheduling a Zoom call? No, there's not. Unfortunately, there's not. So we actually have a limit on how many people we bring into the group. per month. And so we want to make sure that we have the right fit. We're looking for action takers. We're looking, there's a lot of criteria that we have in there. There's certainly, you can see on our website, we have kind of an outline of what's in the program, but no one is able to join without doing a call, unfortunately, at this time. Okay. Let me go back into present mode. All right. So now that you understand what your schedule needs to look like to ensure that the employee is paying for themselves, we can also do a little bit of math to see what would they actually need to bring in to pay for themselves and cover your salary. Now, it's important to note that this typically does not happen within the first 90 days. All right. This is going to depend on the strength of your marketing strategy, how aggressively you're marketing, how skilled this new provider is, what they're signed off on. And when I mean signed off on, I want you to be looking at, we're actually going to be, I'm going to talk about this in a second, but I'll just share this with you now. Like when you have a new provider coming in, if you're hiring somebody new that you're wanting to transition your clients or patients to, anybody that you're onboarding, really, you want them to fill out a form that rates themselves on a level of 1 to 10 that you're going through and saying, hey, I feel like I'm a 10 in this, or I feel like I'm an 8 in this, or I feel like I'm a 2 in this. You want to sign them off, meaning have them perform that service in front of you so that you can see that they perform it at your level of expectation so that you can open up their books for that service. So the ones that they're 8 and above, that they feel confident that they've done over and over, we're going to open up their books for those services first so they can start generating revenue. And then you're going to work with them on those, anything under an 8, to make sure that they are exceptional when you open them up to see your clients and patients. All right. So to go back to are they able to cover your salary? It's going to really, what you're going to be having to look at is like, how skilled is this person? Now, if you're let's say you're paying yourself $5,000 a month. So we would break that, or let's say 4,000 for easy math. Okay. So you're paying yourself $1,000 a week. So essentially, if we go back to that example that this provider needs to generate, that they need to generate $1,300 to pay for themselves in overhead. If you're wanting them to replace your salary as well, it would need to be $2,300 to get to that point where they're replacing your salary as well. Now, there's obviously other expenses that the business needs. The overhead cost and all of those types of things will go into it. So it's going to be a personal calculation on how many providers do I have and what does that need to be for them to be able to cover themselves and my salary and keep the operations of the business moving smoothly. All right. So action item. If you have not brought on a provider yet, I want you to get a clear idea of what the compensation is going to be. So, I want you to do this so that you can calculate what their break-even point is going to be. All right. So if you look at, and we're typically, this is going to go on a little bit of a side tangent here, but just bear with me. So when we're looking at percentages in our financial statements, really like how we're managing cash flow, I like to have a baseline. These are kind of benchmark numbers where we are at 40% payroll, 30% operations, 15 tax, 15 profit. So if I bring in $100,000 in a month, 40,000 of that is going to go to payroll, 30,000 of that is going to go to operations, 15% is profit, 15% is tax. Now, these numbers are benchmarks, but you will need to make sure that you are ensuring that those are the right numbers for your business with your CPA, with your financial advisor. Okay. So what your household income is going to be impacted in this. the profitability of your company, where if you have one company that they're doing specialty facials all day, every day, versus another company that is doing permanent makeup or something that has a much higher profit margin, a lash artist or something along those lines, your numbers are going to vary. So keep that in mind. What is relatively consistent across the board is keeping that 40% payroll. Okay. So we're utilizing that to understand, what can I afford? How much can I afford to pay somebody in the state of my business right now? So if I say I'm doing, if I'm doing 250,000 in revenue, let me get out my handy calculator. Then what I would look at is 250 times 0.4 gives me 100,000 that I can pay in payroll. Now, keep in mind that this payroll is also for your providers, it's for your contractors, it's for your virtual assistants. And if you are an S Corp, it is for your W-2 salary for you as an employee of your own company. Okay. Your owner distribution is going to come out of profit. So that's a separate area. All right. So then let's create a winning marketing strategy. So number one, this is what we kind of talked about here before, is find out what your provider excels at so you can get them signed off on those services first. Start booking appointments during their onboarding period so that their first day is full. All right. Energetically, this is going to start you off on the right foot. And then decide on your organic and your paid strategy. So what we're looking at here, when I want to go back to number 2 for a second. So start booking their appointments during their onboarding period so that their first day is full. So we are typically looking at having a 2-week onboarding period, where 1 week is kind of administrative, booking software, bringing in product reps, et cetera. And the other week is hands-on training with the services that you are offering. So you want to make sure that you've got those 2 weeks that's dedicated to their training and onboarding. And then on day 1, you're going to start booking them for day 1 of week 3, so that when they start, they've got a full day. All right. So let me go through, bring this back on here. Okay. Let me go through what some of the organic marketing includes. So that's going to be social media. Obviously, we want to make sure that you're introducing your new provider on social, post about them regularly, welcome them to the team. What are their favorite products? We're looking for consistency and face recognition. Email is another organic strategy. Send out a minimum of 3 emails during the first 2 weeks that your new provider begins seeing clients. Phone calls, you want to call clients to make a special offer for them to see your new provider. Have a unique promotion. This can be combined with the phone calls, where perhaps you're putting together some sort of package where it's a facial and we're adding in LED or adding in something for a set price point only with that particular provider. All right. Sydney's asking a question. Do you suggest booking them models at a lower cost? Sydney, I do the models during the hands-on week 2. And so we talk about this a lot in our, in the Facebook group strategy, where we're saying, hey, we need 5 models for this service. We're offering it at X% off in exchange for an honest review. And so that's allowing us to get their hands-on experience. We're signing them off. But for week 3, I want them at either this promotion or regular price services. So we're using the model call for that week 2. Okay. Shelf talkers, share info about the new promotion and your provider at various points around the spa. All right. Paid marketing includes the following. So Meta, which is digital ads on Facebook or Instagram. This can be something as simple as taking a video view ad where you're doing a service. Maybe you put together a promotion that is like a, dermaplane chemical peel promo for X amount with LED. And you do a reel that you're showing your new provider doing that service. And then you would retarget individuals who watch that video view ad with whatever this specific promotion is and getting them a booking link, or asking for their name and email to get a unique code to get X% off of that service for the month of, insert that. So we're really looking at what strategies have worked for you in the past around Meta. If you've not used paid digital ads before, we're going to want to test some things out, but you can test these out with $100. So it doesn't need to be this massive investment in ads. We're really wanting to look at what is working in my zip code, what's working in my area. We're testing everything before we dump a bunch of money into it. And then there's obviously Google ads, right? So we want to do Google ads. This really goes into understanding where new clients or patients are coming from. And oftentimes, guys, when we're getting a new provider, we're going to have to get new clients. You will have some existing clients and patients that shift over to this new provider, but a lot of times we're needing to add new people where all new people are going with this new provider, so that they can have the opportunity to build the relationship with them. All right. So what I want you to do for this section is list out the combination of marketing strategies that you are going to utilize to get your provider busy, and then create deadlines for their creation, scheduling, and or setup. So if you're going to do a new promotion, you're going to call your clients and you're going to post about it on social media and do emails. Mark it on the calendar. When are those emails going out? How long is the social going to go? What is the actual promotion? Are you going to do ads for that? Really look at what needs to be created and how am I going to set up deadlines to make sure that all of this is getting done. All right. And then last but not least, let's move into calendar management. And with calendar management, what we are going to be looking at is, when are we getting out of the room, right? We've got to set a date to make sure that this happens. Now, the fastest that I've seen this happen is 3 months. And personally, I think that is pretty fast. It can work in the right business, depending on how established your company is, if you have other providers already in place. But personally, I think that 6 to 9 month mark is really kind of the sweet spot. I know a lot of people want to push it to a year, but this really is a great timeline, that 6 to 9 month mark. So as we're moving into the new year, you could set a goal to be out of the room sometime between June and September. And again, this is largely going to depend on the success of your team. If you are a solo right now and you are bringing on your very first provider, you may not get it right the first time. This is a skill, right? Give yourself some grace. You've got to be able to communicate your needs and expectations. And so you may hire someone, you may think they're great, and then by the 90-day mark, you're like, there is no way that this person is going to work for me. And so then you're kind of starting back at square one. So you want to give yourself time and space it's more important to get the right person in there than to just kind of continue to plow forward with the wrong individual. All right. So make sure that you've got that all set. If you already have an established provider that you're wanting to transition your clients or patients to, this obviously can work faster, right? You've already built that trust. You have somebody that you can pass people to, and they already are trained in your business. That's going to help you move faster than bringing on a brand new provider. So let's say that your goal is to be out of the room by the end of July. So you're currently working 4 days a week in the room. I would go through your booking software, and in February, I would close out one of your days. So instead of working 4 shifts, now you're down to 3. Okay. In April, I would cut down to 2. And then in June, I would cut down to 1 with no additional booking. After you could do the end of July. So anybody can book during your 1 day a week that you have in July, but they're not able to rebook. They have to book with another provider. Now, a lot of you are probably saying, hey, I still want to keep my hands in it. I love what I do. I love the connection with my patients. I want to stay in the room just 1 day a week. Okay, that is fine. There's value in that and really having an understanding of the work. I get that. But if you're wanting to be the CEO, I would not do more than 1 day in the room. Okay. So, and also to ensure financial success, I would couple these booking milestones with your provider to be in alignment with the days that you're going to cut down. So, what do I mean by that? I would say, all right, in February, I'm cutting down to 3 days. I'm not going to cut down to 3 days unless this provider that I am, that's replacing or taking some of my clients or patients or replacing my revenue, they've got to be at 60% booked and they have to hang out there for at least 2 weeks. You may have a different milestone by the time, maybe when you cut down to 2 days, they need to be 70% booked, right? So we're going to set these milestones of either booking percentage or revenue per hour per room that they are bringing in before you're cutting down. So you've got these benchmarks that you're looking at to make sure that you are going to be successful. All right. Now, when you, the owner, are transitioning out of the room, it is normal to see a slight dip in the finances. And that is why we do this gradually, right? Those new providers are not only paying for themselves and working to create a profit for the business, cover the overhead, et cetera. They're also generating revenue to cover your salary. So what I want you to do is make a decision as to the date that you will get out of the room, even if it's a year from now. And I want you to block your time on your calendar accordingly. Okay. So these are the 4 steps as a recap. So you got to get your provider busy. Let me go back to the first page here, just so we can go through each of these. You've got to make sure that you have a provider that can take over your clients and patients and be generating revenue for the spa. You need to understand how you're going to calculate their break-even point where they're paying for themselves and also where they are paying for your salary. You've got to have a clear marketing strategy in place for them to make sure that you are getting them booked. Here at Addo Aesthetics, we believe that it is your job as the spa owner, as the spa CEO, to get your providers booked, to get them their new clients. It is their job to retain those clients that you get in there. All right. And then managing your calendar, we need to understand what your calendar actually looks like and when is the date that you are going to be getting out of the room. Now, I'm going to open it up for questions. Any of you that are interested in the programs that we offer here at Addo Aesthetics or working with us on a deeper level, comment growth below. My team will reach out. Yes, we do need you to book a call to learn about the program and understand if it is a good fit. But we would love to support any of you that want to be that want to go a little bit deeper. So I'm going to take a look here at the question, see if there's anything that comes up. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm seeing people comment growth. Love that. And we've got some new growth factor members that are in there. I want you guys to, for Sydney, for Jessica, I want you guys to show up on the calls, start asking questions there. That is how you're going. I know there's a lot in the beginning. There's a lot of information. We try and hold your hand through the process as far as, doing your onboarding call, all of those types of things. But really, just show up, participate, ask questions, even if you don't know what to ask. That's how you're going to get the best results. Say, here's what I'm doing. Give me a little bit of help here. All right. So thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I am at time. Let's see. Dasha says, do you have an example for meta ads? It really depends on your offer. And it depends on what the strategy is going to be. One of the things that we do inside of Growth Factor, anybody that joins Growth Factor, we automatically give them a 3-month membership to Successful Ads Club. And we used to have an ads coach inside of Growth Factor, but because ads are changing constantly. Algorithms are changing constantly. Strategies that are working are changing constantly. Those guys over there are the best, and they're always up to date with what is going on. So they do copy reviews, they do funnel reviews, and they also have an option where you can pay $199 and they will actually set up your ads for you, which in today's world, to hire an ads manager to do your ads for you, it's going to be anywhere between $2,500 to $4,000. And typically it's closer to that $4,000 just for ads management. Well, most spas aren't even spending $1,000 on ad dollars. So it makes absolutely no sense to pay an ads manager $4,000 to manage $1,000 worth of ads. So I believe in hiring internally. I kind of set up this membership for Successful Ads Club in the way that the hope is that you actually hire a marketing person as an employee and then give them the access to Successful Ads Club, that they can be working on your business, really focused on your ads, checking them all day, every day. I think that is what's going to really make you strong. Because again, nothing against the ads managers charging that amount. It's a lot of work. But and to be able to handle those amount of clients, they have a lot of overhead, right? But for our unique to spa, to be able to be unique to spa and to have someone's eyes specifically on your account, also understanding your specific culture, how you're communicating with your clients and your patients. I just really like employees in general. All right. Camille is saying, how much do you usually start for the onboarding period? You mean how much are you paying your provider? Another thing that we have inside of Growth Factor is a specific growth plan. So we typically do a flat rate for the first 90 days it's a flat hourly rate, because we're putting a lot of training into them. We're really developing them. There's a lot of cost associated with getting them to that place. Then at the 90-day review, we're looking at, all right, what is your retail to service percentage? What is your client purchase percentage? What's your retention rate, right? We're looking at all of these metrics and we're saying, okay, you're going to go in this category, or you're going to go in this category. Are you a junior esthetician? Are you an esthetician? We have a category for lead, but we don't typically bring someone in immediately as a lead. We would bring them in as a junior esthetician or an esthetician to get them started. And each of those roles have a specific hourly range. So we believe in paying a flat hourly rate and then commission on retail sales that's aligned with their retail to service percentage, and then obviously calculating gratuities into their wage. And so that for me works the best in being able to create a scalable plan for your employees. But it is typically a flat hourly rate that's going to depend on where you're at in the country. There's places in Florida that are paying minimum wage, and there's places in California that are paying $30 an hour. So it really is depending on your specific location. All right, friends, thank you. This was fun. This was very fun. We are going to have some trainings next week and the week after. They're going to be filmed trainings. My team will be checking in kind of here and there, but we wanted to make sure that you had the information. But we do take a couple weeks off for break at the end of the year to recharge, replenish, all of those wonderful things. So we'll still have the training here next week. It'll just be a recorded version, and we'll be kind of checking in and at the comments and all of that kind of stuff. So thank you guys so much for being here today. I'm so grateful for you, and let's go ahead and keep keep working, finish this year strong, and here is to an incredible 2024.